Everyone, welcome back to my channel. In the last video, I had discussed about the introduction of the chapter. If you had missed the episode 1 of this chapter, you can watch it by the link provided in the description box. And today we will discuss about the differences between solution, suspension and colloids. So let's start it quickly. So here comes the first topic, which is what is a solution? A solution is a homogeneous mixture of two or more substances. जैसा कि हम अपने डेली लाइफ में भी देखते हैं, such as we use lemonade, soda water, etc. These are all examples of solutions. अब जो solution के बारे में जो हम सोचते हैं, हम ये सपोज करते हैं कि जो भी पार्टिकल जो साइज है या हम ये कह सकते हैं कि जो पार्टिकल लेवल है, it should be homogeneous throughout the solution. We can take example of the alloys. सच एज जो एलॉयज हैं वो मिक्सचर होते हैं दो से ज्यादा मेटल्स, राइट. अब इसमें एक मेटल भी हो सकता है एंड एक नॉन मेटल भी हो सकता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल ब्रास, which is a mixture of around 30% zinc and 70% copper. Now here comes the first question in our mind. What is a solution and what are the main components of a solution? So basically solution में दो components होते हैं. It has a solvent and a solute. The one which is present in the lesser quantity which is used to be dissolved is known as solute, and the component which is generally present in the larger amount is known as solvent. और जिसको हम ये कह सकते हैं कि जो solute जो कम amount में है उसको हमने solvent में dissolve किया है. So two of them forms the solution. So here comes some example. Suppose हमने कुछ sugar particles लिए and उसको कुछ fixed amount of water में dissolve किया है. So it will be a kind of solution of a solid in liquid. And जिसमें से जो solid है, which is the sugar particles, it will be the solute, and water, which is liquid, it will be the solvent. Now next comes the properties of a solution. सबसे पहले हमें पता होना चाहिए कि जिसके बारे में हम रीड कर रहे हैं, what are its properties. Basically जो solution है, we all very well know कि it is a homogeneous mixture. Since the particles of the solution are much smaller, or we can say they are less than 1 nanometer in diameter, so naked eye से हम इन particles को नहीं देख सकते. And because of this very small particle size, these do not scatter the beam of the light which we use to pass through it. So, जो light का जो path है, it will not be visible in case of a solution. Now, here comes the last property of the solution, which is the solute particles cannot be separated from the mixture, or we can say from the solvent, by the process of filtration. Even when they are left undisturbed, it means the nature of the solution is quite stable. Now here comes the next most important part, which is concentration of the solution. Now what is concentration of a solution denotes? It means कि हमने जो solute लिया है वो कितना लिया है particular solvent में to make a solution. We can classify it as a dilute solution, it can be a concentrated solution, or it can be a saturated solution. Suppose we have taken some amount of salt or sugar in a given quantity of water at a given temperature. अब इसमें हमने क्या किया है कि solute को dissolve करने की कोशिश करेंगे हम solvent में at a particular temperature. The capacity of a solvent to retain the particular amount of solute at given temperature will be known as the saturated solution. And जितना amount saturated solution में dissolve किया है हमने at particular temperature, it will be its solubility in that solvent. But the question still arises, how can we measure the concentration of a solution? There are so many ways to calculate it. First one is mass by mass percentage of a solution. The formula for this is we can take the mass of the solute oblique mass of the solution into 100, and then comes next method, which is mass by volume percentage of the solution. And the formula for this is mass of solute divided by the volume of the solution into 100. And we can also take it volume by volume percentage of a solution, which can be the volume of the solute by the volume of the solution into 100. Now let us understand it by quickly taking an example. Now first example is a solution contains 40 grams of common salt in 320 grams of water. Now how can we calculate the concentration in terms of mass by mass percentage? Since we know the formula, and first of all we should write down whatever is given in the question. So we are given 40 grams of the common salt, means the salt is solute in this case. So mass of solute will be 40 grams. And now next comes the mass of the solvent, which is 320 grams. Now we know mass of the solution will be the mass of the solute plus mass of solvent, which is 40 grams plus 320 grams, which will be 360 grams. So the mass percentage of the solution will be mass of the solute oblique mass of the solution into 100, and then we will put the values in this particular formula, which is 40 over 360 into 100, which will be 11.1%. So this way we can calculate the concentration of the solution quite easily. Now here comes the next topic, which is a suspension. As I had already told you in the last video, I had discussed in that about the activity number 2.2, in which what does the group C students obtained? Group C students obtained a suspension in which the solute particles do not dissolve, but they remain suspended in the bulk of the medium, or we can say particles of a suspension are visible to the naked eye. Now properties will be according to the definition, which is first property will be it is a heterogeneous mixture, and the next property is the particles of the suspension can be easily seen by the naked eye. क्योंकि हम particles कोई suspension का जो size होता है it is quite big, we can easily see it by the naked eye, right? It means we can say जो suspension है it is quite unstable, since if we can allow it to be undisturbed for some time, then the particles can settle down at the bottom of the container. Now next comes the colloidal solution. As I had already told you in the last video, what does the group D students obtained? Group D students obtained a colloidal solution. Now what is a colloidal solution? It is also a heterogeneous mixture, but the main difference between the suspension and the colloidal solution is that the particle size is quite small in case of a colloidal solution. Okay, just because of this small size of the colloidal particles, we cannot see it with the naked eyes. क्योंकि particles का size जो होता है, it is very small. हम उसको naked eye से नहीं देख सकते हैं, right? But they can scatter a beam of light, or we can say they are quite big to scatter a beam of light solution passing through them, right? It is a phenomena which is known as the Tindal Effect, which is the scattering of a beam of light, right? We can take example of a mixture of water and milk, which can show Tindal Effect as it is clearly shown in this diagram. Right. Next comes the properties of a colloidal solution. So basically it is a heterogeneous mixture and the size of the particles is quite small to be seen by the naked eyes, but they are big enough, or we can say they are quite big enough to scatter the beam of the light. And the most important property that the particles do not settle down when left undisturbed, or we can say colloid is quite stable. And now here comes next part, the component of a colloidal solution, which can be, जैसा कि हमने देखा था solution में, we had two components. One is the solute and other one is the solvent. But in the case of a colloidal solution, solute-like component is known as dispersed phase and the solvent-like component is known as dispersion medium, which is generally present in the large amount. Now we can take some examples which we can easily observe in our daily life. In this, the dispersed phase can be a liquid, solid or gas, and dispersing medium can also be liquid, solid and gas. According to the type of the dispersed phase and medium, as it is clearly shown in this table, there are so many examples such as fog, smoke, shaving cream, milk, mud, foam. We can take liquid in gas, solid in gas. We can take gas in liquid, liquid in liquid, solid in liquid. So that's all for today, and in the next video we will read about the separation of the components of a mixture. Do subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon for next video updates. Thanks for watching.